folks, Greg here with GVS Outdoors. Boy, it has just been entirely too long since I've done one of these, and I think we're going to get out and get after it today. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I'll kind of explain that to you in the video kind of as we go along here and share a little bit of that. But plain and simple, I've had too much other stuff going on, and when I've been out fishing, I haven't been able to film because of some of the other stuff that I've been doing. So I'm out here tonight. I got a couple hours of daylight left, a couple, 3 hours maybe. We're gonna do a little bit of crappie fishing. I've already got a couple of good ones in the box, so we'll put them on the counter. We'll see what the evening's like. If they're out and singing tonight, we might even go after a few bullfrogs and do a little bit of gigging. So a lot of stuff to do, not a lot of time to get to it, so let's just get to it and do a little bit of fishing. Okay, folks. Well, like I mentioned, I've been doing quite a bit of fishing. In June, we had a great thing that most states are doing now, and if your state's doing that, we ought to take advantage of it. There's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the state of Virginia where you don't need a license to fish for those 3 days. And so what we started doing a couple of years ago is we started doing a fishing tournament with our church. We opened it up for those 3 days. Anybody who wants to fish can fish anywhere they want to. But one of the things that we do is for anybody who doesn't know how to fish or has always kind of wanted to learn and never had anyone to teach them, some of us take folks out in our boats. We set up a schedule all day long on the Friday of the tournament. That's the first day of the tournament. And basically, I was on my boat for 18 hours, I think, and had at least one passenger. A lot of them were kids and some adults that were kind of first timers too. But that was a great thing. I'm going to throw a couple of video clips of that in here for you, just so you can see some of the happenings from the day. It was pretty cool. And one of the things I did there was I set a bunch of limb lines for catfish. The channel cats were spawning, and boy, we ended up catching, I don't know, a dozen, 14, something like that, channel cats on the limb lines. And then I would, for the kids that were fishing with us, I would string up those fish on a pole and let them fight them when I hooked one on a limb line. So that was big fun. And, it's a good way to get a 10-year-old kid on a 7 or 8 pound fish, So that was a lot of fun. You'll see some of that in the video clips that I have. And then I'll throw this clip in here too. There's a couple of brothers who just moved here from Benin, a country in West Africa. They've been here since around Christmas time. It's June now, so 6 months, and I'm really proud of them. They're doing a great job. They're learning English and doing really well. They probably already speak better English than I do. And they're just a great couple of kids there, and I've taken them a couple times. You're going to see some clips of them fishing with me here and catching some catfish. Okay, lift. Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's a treasure! That's our treasure.
Give me 5. Good job. Good job, guys. Nicely done. So, all that to say, that's kind of some of the things that have been going on here. Still doing plenty of fishing, and now I'm kind of at the point where I'm ready to start bringing a little more content, hopefully. So, oh, there he is. So that's what we're gonna do. Good little crappie here. Yeah, that'll do just fine. He's not as big as the last one I caught. I caught a couple. last week when I was out with the boys that I think could have been, well, they were definitely citation fish and maybe better than that. And I lost both of them right alongside the boat. They were really nice crappie, but for some reason I've been finding the bigger ones a little bit better here lately. So hopefully that trend continues tonight, and we put a few on ice. I'm not sure what the story is here, but it's been hot for sure. The water temperature right now, surface temp's 85, but I was out on Tuesday fishing, and the water was very, very high, but apparently they pulled a bunch of water off from the dam because it's dropped maybe 3 feet from what it was when I was here on Tuesday. So the water's been doing a lot of moving for sure. What I've been finding when the water gets hot like that, obviously you're going to find fish a little deeper. And where I was finding them in, I don't know, 6 to 8 feet of water before, they're mostly down around 15 foot now and suspended over 20. But pretty consistent. You know, a lot of people, well, in the spring, the spawn is an easy time to catch crappie. Anybody who's ever tried to catch them knows that. And I think a lot of people get the idea that the spring is the only time to catch crappie. And the last couple of years, I have to say, I've changed my opinion of that. I don't think spring is the best time to catch crappie. I think the best time is right now, because when I find them, they're all piled up in one spot, and you can sit there and just catch one after the next after the next. So I'm starting to really enjoy fishing them in the summer. It's fun in the spring because they're up, you know, they're shallow and they're predictable. You're going to find them kind of all over the place in the shallows, but I'm definitely finding numbers of them in the summer. Yeah, it's been a little slow going here. That's number 4. But it's hot. A little hot for them, I think. That's just the way it goes. You gotta hunt around for them a little bit until you find them. And when you do, you can have your fun. Fishing slow for them. I mean, really slow. Like barely moving. And if you get it too far up into the water column, you just open your bail and let it drop and take it right back to them. They'll hit it on the fall sometimes. But they're not doing anything in a hurry, that's for sure. And I'm fishing 32nd ounce jigs, 4-pound test. I'm fishing a new bait. I'm gonna put a link to it in the video description for you, and I'll show you a close-up picture of it, or I'll show you a picture of it when I get it in here. I really like them. They're very simple. I forget what they call the color, but it's like a blue ice. It's like a blue ice with a little chartreuse on it, and a little bit of sparkle to it. So that's the jig right there. I don't know how well you can see the color, but chartreuse and like an ice color. But I buy them on eBay. That's the fella has a store there. Like I say, I'll put a link in the description and link to it for you. But I buy them 100 at a time, and he's got the best prices I've found. I think it's don't quote me on this, 13 bucks for 100 of them or something like that, which is pretty good considering if you're buying Bobby Garland stuff or something like that, it's probably $7, $8, $9 for 20. But he molds all kinds of stuff. all kinds of baits, but he has a lot of panfish baits that are really nice. And then I've been buying, same thing. I think I found them on eBay. There's a guy that's molding jigs, and he sells them 100 at a time. So I buy a couple hundred. I fish for crappie. I'm fishing almost only 32nd ounce jigs. I've found that those are just, for my style of fishing, they work well. And I don't get hung up as much either. They're light enough that they kind of sink slow, and especially when you're working through cover, they're slow enough falling that you don't just get right into the trash all the time. But so it's simple setup, but hey, simple can be good. There's one. Not much of one. He's gonna go back. It looks like there's a bunch of them in here. He's a little small, but they're all pretty. Yeah, I found a couple of them on some docks in here. There's another minnow. That was a double. That was a double there, so I know there's at least 2 fish here. Boy, they did not hardly move with it. That one I couldn't even, he never even took the float down. I couldn't even tell I had one on there. But both of those were pretty nice fish. 11, 12 inches probably. Maybe not quite that. 10 anyway. But I'm keeping a bunch of them. You know, I try to get at least a dozen if I'm going to keep them. And I'll keep them 10 inches and up usually. They were, sun's dropping pretty good now, but both of those fish were right in on the pylons, like they didn't even move for it. And I'd fished all over in here before I got a hit. So I imagine they're probably stacked up right around the dock pilings or whatever. Let's put the theory to the test, shall we? Yep, same thing. Another decent one. Not a giant, but we'll take him at this point. Oh, maybe we will. Oh, I'm hearing some bullfrogs, folks. I'm thinking this might be the night. I came a few weeks ago and stayed out the better part of the evening. I was actually fishing, and the fishing was just terrible. And I managed to come home with a half a dozen bullfrogs or something like that. But I've been waiting for a good humid summer night when I can get on a bunch of them that are singing. That's the fun part, because you know there's somewhere you're headed. You don't spend as much time cruising around looking for them. Okay, folks, I know this is probably not going to make for a great video, but I've been wanting to do it anyway. We're out here. It's pitch black. I'm going to run my light as little as possible, because every time I turn it on, the mosquitoes swarm me. You can probably even hear them. was so many of them that you could hear like swarms of them. But I've located us a bullfrog. I was hoping there'd be a few out tonight, and there is. And let's have a look here. See him right there? You can see his throat setting on the shore and his eyes lit up. I don't know if I can get in close enough to him, but we're going to try. One good thing with the water being this low is they sit way out exposed on the banks. Keep your light right on their eyes. Oh, no. Just going to get in close enough that I think I can spear him and take one quick shot. Got him. And that, my friends, is how it's done. That's a good bullfrog right there. You can see the legs on him. Nice bunch of frog legs there. Next time I go into that cooler, it's going to get exciting, I would imagine. Turn this light off. All right, so that's that. I don't know. By the way, before you try this, know your local laws. In the state of Virginia, you have to have a hunting license if you're going to spear them. You can't just go out and spear them. And with a fishing license, you can grab them by hand. 15 per person per night is the limit here in Virginia. A lot of people don't know that there's limits and rules for this sort of thing. But check your local laws before you go out and do it. But it is one of the most fun things a human being can do. I'm going to tell you that right now. There is about nothing I like better than getting up and mess with bullfrogs. It is just fun. And they are the finest table fare you're ever going to find. They are really, really tasty. So I may shoot a quick video in the morning, show you how to cut one up. That would probably be helpful too. So we'll do that in the morning. But I'm probably not going to film much more because the as you can see here, bugs are pretty bad tonight. I'm not going to stay out much longer anyway. I don't think there's going to be a lot of frogs out. Yeah, that's one in there. Actually, a pretty good one. So this is the kind of thing, it's actually probably easier accomplished in a canoe or a kayak than in a john boat. I will say that. If it's in a john boat, you ought to have a trolling motor on the rear. I can tell you that. It'll be a hard one to get because he's in the water. And it's real shallow. Let's see how muddy it is. Pretty muddy. Hard in the mud like that. I like this round gig. This is actually pretty new to me. Let's take a look at him here. Boy, these skeeters are bad. Not quite as big as the last one, but he's still a nice one. Let's see if I can get him in there without losing either one. Folks, we might have just been gifted a bonus here. Every once in a while that happens. I was on my way out and I decided to make a pass through this little creek bed. And I happened to see, or happened to hear one first. Sometimes they give themselves away. Not always. So, let's just see if we let's see if we can not mess this one up. He's tucked in kind of tight up against the, there you go, right there. You can see his eyes. I don't know how much of this video will turn out, but he's tucked in kind of tight up against that little corner there. So he's probably gettable. If I can. I cannot do anything foolish before I get up there, which is the real question. That's a nice one too. I'm gonna get out and get it. That's a big one. That was not a great shot there, but I guess it did the trick. When possible, you want to get them right through the back. Bust their back. That's a nice frog, though. Well, see, this is how nights that weren't supposed to be late end up being late once you start finding a few of these guys. All right, kids. Greg here with GVS Outdoors. It's the next morning. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup here. I'm going to show you how to clean those frogs, how I do that, and we're going to get some frog legs. We're going to get some crappie fillets. I caught one big bluegill too. We're going to go ahead and fillet him. So we'll just go through the whole process for you, and I'm also going to show you how I package things with the vacuum sealer and throw them in the freezer for later. Okay, one thing I'm going to say about this, we've dispatched this frog. I always do that. I give him a good wrap on the head, plus he's frozen. I'm only going to take the legs off these. There's other ways to do it, and I know that, and I know that you can sometimes get a little bit more off of them. You can take the front legs or the inner loins or whatever. These are not huge frogs, so I'm going to go ahead and do it the way I'm going to do it. But it's very simple. You make one cut on them around their belly, and then you take their pants off. That's what you do. And then I just cut out the pelvis bone that sits in there. So all we do here is get a little slit started like that, right around them. Get up under. When they're cold, it's a little harder to do this, but get up under like that. Very simple. They got real soft skin on them, so it's easy to tear. Got neighbors driving by saying, "What the heck is he doing up there?" And it slides right off if you do that. You take it right off their leg, right down to the ankle, like that. Slippery little buggers. Yeah. And then all you do is you take the foot off right here, right at the joint. Excuse me, folks, sorry about that. And then I take both legs off right there. At the pelvis, kind of, there's a Y bone in there. And again, there's probably other ways to do this. That's okay. This is the way I'm going to do it. This is trash. And what you end up with is a couple of nice, tasty frog legs ready to be fried up and enjoyed. Alright folks, here's the end of the process. Got our cleaned up fillets over there. They're all rinsed and everything. I pat them dry on some paper towels. And then we just put them in the vacuum sealer. I used to freeze in bags of water, and that was good. It worked, but the vacuum sealer is terrific. And always label your bags. So I've got some bags here ready. I've got 8 frog legs in here. I don't usually cook them until we've got people over and there's a whole pile of them. So these are going to get frozen. I'll probably go gigging again sometime next week and maybe get a limit, and then we'll have enough for a bunch of people and we'll do a big deal. So I'm just going to vacuum seal this. They're going to go in the freezer. Same with the crappie. There was 8 crappie there and a big bluegill. That's about a little more than what I would do for a meal normally for us, but I'm going to put them all in one bag. Then I've got one meal-sized portion of crappie, one of frog legs, and we're good to go. So hey, thanks for being with me today. Again, if you don't know anything about this stuff, that's what this channel is for. GVS Outdoors is all about showing you that you can do stuff like this. It's not hard. It's very simple. You saw that today. And it's a ton of fun. If you do know something about fishing, hunting, the outdoors, all of those sorts of things, find somebody that doesn't. Take them with you. Take them under your wing. Teach them a few things. Being outdoors is just too much fun. It's good, clean fun, and the world needs more good, clean fun. Hey, I'm going to close this video out. I mentioned earlier we did that big fishing tournament at the church on the free fishing days in Virginia. Hopefully that inspires somebody to teach somebody something about this stuff. And the next time that happens in your state, why make a little event or make a good time out of it and do something similar. So fun stuff happening. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you more content soon. Hey, thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.